Hey guys, Preparing here. So in this video I want to show you the most effective way of buying items. And I'm talking about two really different things. Getting items on a really good budget, like getting the most out of your gold, or getting like the best items. I'm talking about bids. The best items on the auction house are typically going to be bid only, and the best deals on the auction house are also going to be bid only. So it's very important to understand and to optimize the way that you will bid on items. So I want to show you here in the form of an example. I found this item here. It's not particularly good item. You see, it's the Victor. It's an axe. It's got a pretty low bid compared to its buyout. Sometimes this stuff is deceptive because this is not a particularly good item, but it's not bad. Is it worth 10 million? Probably not. But as a form of example, I want to show you exactly what I would do if, let's say, this was a really good item. So as you can see here, it's on page 5 of my current search criteria and it has 4 minutes left. Now the first thing you want to do when you find an item that you want, obviously you want to be there on time to make sure you can do the following steps. And what you're going to do is, number one, you have to narrow the search criteria so this item shows up on the front page. So how do I do that? So it's got 108 strength and 127 dex, and it's got a max buyout of 36 million. So what we can do is we can put the max buyout to 37 million, and let's just see if it works with like 100 and 100 here. So we'll do 100 dex and 100 strength. Look at that, number one on the list, the Victor. So it's got 3 minutes left. Now, it's very important at this stage, in the final few minutes of the item, that you spam search. Now, there's a few cautions to doing this. When you click search too many times, it will disconnect you. You see, right now, it just hit 2 minutes. At this point in time, your goal is to hit search at a certain interval, which I would recommend no faster than every 3 seconds. And your goal is to hit up the time left at exactly 1 minute. When it says exactly 1 minute, that's pretty much exactly 1 minute. And at that point, you want to have like a Windows clock or some kind of stopwatch or something like that that you can see count down for the next 60 seconds. So in our example here, I'm just going to keep spamming this thing. Normally I use the Windows clock. I just bring that up and I see it tick down, and after I see 1 minute, I just bid with like 3 seconds left. I see that the hand move 57 seconds, and bam, I hit the item up. Now I'll show you exactly what price I set. See, we just got it under a minute. At this point, I would normally check my time, and I'd count just until it has like 3 seconds or so until the minute. I missed the 1 minute mark. I have less than 1 minute. So because of this, I'd probably play it safe and do like 55 seconds from the time that I saw this move down from the 2 minute mark. Now, how do you bid? For an item like this, you can do bid, but you never really want to use the minimum amount. You see, if it says current bid and your max bid is greater than the current bid, it means it already has a bid on it, and there's probably someone else looking for the item already. The way bids work in this game is it matches the previous highest bid. So if someone who bid on this item bid like 15 million, it will only show 10.5 until someone else bids, let's say, like 16 million. And then the guy who bid 16 million, he then would have a 15 million bid. So it always matches the highest current bid. Now, my suggestion is, when you're trying to figure out a bid amount, is to just pay out what you think it's worth to you. So this item is worth nothing to me, but let's say it was a really good item. It wasn't worth 36 million, but it was worth 20. So I would put in 20 million. Now I'm not going to click bid because I don't really want this item, but if I did, and the only other bid on this item is like 12 million, even though I put in 20 million, I would win it for 12. Now that's what I recommend. I recommend putting a high bid based on what you think it's worth right in the last second. Now, the strategy is, if you bid in the last second, there's two large advantages that you gain. You gain the fact that the other guy who's trying to win the item, or the several other people who are trying to win the item, they may not have enough time to react to your higher bid, and even if they do, they don't exactly know what your bid is. So they might frantic, oh man, 12 million, someone beat me, it says 12.5 million. So they might go ahead and bid 14, and while it might go to 14, you know, it'll cost you a little bit more, but chances are they probably won't have time to put another bid even again to hit it up even higher, and you'll end up winning the item for 14. The other factor is, sometimes when people bid on these items, especially for the really good items, they don't have enough gold to bid at certain values. And when it comes to really valuable items, people tend to like borrow gold from their friends. Now, if you're outbidding them with 5 seconds to go, they can't do any of that. They're stuck and you win the item. Now this item here is probably gone. Yeah, you can see it got sold, no big deal, I don't really care for the item. But if our timing was right and if our bid amount was good enough compared to the competition, you know, we would have maybe gotten a really good deal for that item. Typically, in my experience, the absolute best items on the auction house are for bid only, but those tend to go for outrageous amounts. So you need to have a very, very high budget. Now for the mid-end, finding items that have a low bid compared to their bio or are also bid only is another strategy in itself, and I'll discuss that later. But that is pretty much the best way to get the best gear for a limited budget for your character. Now, there is another tip that I want to give you guys, which I feel is extremely important. So let me log out here. We can see here that we will be performing scheduled maintenance beginning Tuesday, July 31st at 3 a.m. Pacific time, and it'll be back up essentially 8 hours later. Now, this is like ultra top of the line bid war action right here. This is how you're going to get the absolute cheapest items on the auction house. You're going to consider bidding items right before the servers go down that don't necessarily end right away, but end within the next 7 to 8 hours. So let's say you're looking at items, you know, Tuesday at like 2 in the morning or something like that, and you find a couple items you want that expire in like 6 hours. Essentially, that expiry date is not 6 hours. That expiry date is the second the servers go down. Now, sometimes servers go down past the estimated time, in my experience, even by as much as like 8 minutes. So you have to be careful with that. You may get outbid in the last minutes following to a server shutdown. But in any case, I have seen people I've seen some people get some crazy deals because of this mechanic, because most people are not aware, even though it is a regular maintenance, most people are not aware on that particular day that they might be losing that item because of server downtime. So that is the absolute best way to get the best price for the items that you want. But you know, depending on how many people see this video, that competition may change a little bit to more expensive items. You may not get as good of deals, but I don't think it's ever going to be worse than just bid sniping in the last minute, which is also one of the most effective strategies. Well, I hope you guys learned a few tips, and maybe with my insight you can maybe figure out a few more things. Maybe you can anticipate more instances of server downtime or something of the sort, and you guys will be able to get the kind of gear that you want for less than the price that you can expect. Get some good items. See you guys tomorrow.